I'm super excited. Everybody, my name is GameMaster Craig. I am part of the production team here with Fayetteville Comic-Con. I'm super excited for this one today, folks. Because this is the one that I know I've been waiting for since we announced it. This is the one I'm sure you guys are waiting for. Mortal Kombat questions and answers. You guys have submitted a whole bunch of questions online. I am super excited to jump into it today. So, Mr. DJ Clash, can you cue up our opening theme as I bring in number one.
Your wife has
Richard
information for
DiVizio,
the free
everybody.
tickets for the fall.
Okay. And for Bird's daughter and the other girl got it. So that's all
That's
square.
Mr. Richard DiVizio, everybody. Coming on in.
Put your hands together.
Richard, big round of applause. Number two, Sub-Zero himself, John Turk.
Sub-Zero.
Mortal Kombat. And it just keeps getting better, folks. Up next, we have Kerri Hoskins herself. Sonya Blade, everybody.
Get over here.
Please, everybody. Sonya Blade.
Get over here.
All right, and last but most certainly not least, Lia Montelongo.
Get over here. Get over here.
Can I get a big round of applause for our Mortal Kombat superstars today, please?
Yeah!
All right. All right. Who's ready?
Yeah!
This thing on.
I think we're on. Okay. Well, guys, welcome to Fayetteville Comic-Con.
Good to be here.
So, amongst everything that's been going on in this crazy world, how awesome is it to be back in the Comic-Con world?
Oh, after all this COVID stuff, oh my God, it's just great to be back out here with everyone and see everyone. We love you all, and thanks for coming out today. Yeah!
Woo!
Let's hear it, sure. Mortal Kombat, real loud. 1, 2, 3.
Mortal Kombat!
Thank you, thank you.
All right, so guys, we have a bunch of questions that have already been submitted from these guys and our fans online. So I'm going to start asking them, and we'll get a couple answers if that sounds good. All right, so the first one is for Lia. Now, you were Serena, if I'm not mistaken, right? Okay, so the question is what is your favorite, most memorable memory from playing Serena?
Yes. Our outtakes and our scenes, myself and Quan Chi, is probably the most memorable. Though I don't want to take away from the slip and fall with John to my left. So, take me with you. So I'd have to say it's a solid tie of my most memorable. Oh, wait, but then there was Kia. Do you remember my castmate, Kerri, playing Kia? She was, so my castmate, so not to spread any gossip.
Ooh, we like gossip.
No.
We are a fan of gossip.
I was going to say Kia was supposed to be Serena, but that I was just making that up. No. Can I say, you can speak Okay. Yeah, it's your question. So Kerri was 9 months. Were you 9 months? You look so. They did such a great job with your costume. Nobody knew I was pregnant with twins. And it's right.
Only like 3 months.
Yeah, no, I remember. So that was fun. With the binocular scene.
So it sounds like you have a whole bunch of memories, actually, amongst all of you, right?
Yeah.
So something I want to actually jump to Sonia. What is one of the greatest cast moments that you guys would have had when working on this together? What's a staple to your mind about working on this?
Being paid by the hour and not having enough RAM.
Those are good points. I can't argue with that.
The shoots were great. I think our longest one was like 16 hours long, and it was just a lot of fun. We just did a lot of goofing around and a lot of stunt work, falling on mats and punching each other. It was great.
So, something that Sonia has become almost renowned for is the fact that she's the leader. She plays a leader in a lot of key elements throughout the whole franchise. So how does it feel to have created that leadership legacy?
Feels pretty good.
Cool.
I try to bring that into my daily life also and be a leader. So, yeah, it feels pretty good. It feels comfortable.
That's great. Hey, look, leadership is awesome in all of its forms. So bringing that as an icon is super fantastic. We're super fans here.
Yeah.
Mr. John Turk.
Yes.
Sub-Zero.
Yes. Scorpion, Snorlax, Smoke, Shang Tsung, Rain, Luke Sabot.
I'll just get off the stage now. John, you're a superstar when it comes to personal fitness and making sure people stay healthy and exercise, right? All on Instagram, by the way. All of these people are on Instagram and you should be following them. But what was your training regimen when you were doing Sub-Zero?
Well, my background's in Taekwondo. I had a black belt. I used to martial arts tournaments, and so a lot of what I did was basically functional training, where you do a lot of movement-based, movement-oriented things. I just finished. I was a competitive bodybuilder in the past. I won Miss Illinois in 1987, and then I kind of transitioned and got more into martial arts. So when I was doing Mortal Kombat, I had probably about 2 weeks before filming that I was able to prepare and get myself in better flexibility. And when you work out, your muscle has what's called memory. So, for example, if you stop working out, months later you can come back and within just a week you can be back to where you left off at. So, I hadn't stretched in a while, and I just started doing all my functional movements, stretching a lot, and just getting up on what I was going to have to do to do the role. Now, keep in mind, when we were doing Mortal Kombat, when you see it happening, it doesn't happen that fast when you're filming it. When you're filming it, for example, when you saw the treadmill scene, and I'm running on the or when you see me running, it's a treadmill, and when I took off on it, I ran fast. I'm like, whoa, slow down. I'm like, you can't go that fast. So we're literally running super slow because when they digitize it and put it into the game, it's really hard if you're moving fast. So all the kicks, you had to take it up there and move really slow. You couldn't go really fast because the motion capture wouldn't get your full leg. So whenever we did anything and you're seeing it, it's actually slow motion more or less when you're doing the kick. At least it was for me when I did it. I don't know when you guys did it, were they requiring you to move slower and things like that. So it was just bizarre. When you throw a punch, everything's exaggerated. So like if you were in boxing and you're throwing an uppercut, you're just coming in. But we had to wind everything up really big and end here. So your kicks had to be big and long and slow, and it was just different. So if you're someone who's athletic, and all of us have a background in martial arts, it was just weird filming it. You just move slow, and it just didn't seem natural. But when they put it into the game, it looked like, hey, that's pretty cool, but it didn't feel like it when I was doing it. So, yeah.
Awesome. I mean, guys, we just saw the iconic uppercut here. I'm geeking out right now. I don't know about you. I'm freaking out. Which actually leads to, Richard, what is your favorite iconic move?
That would be ripping out the heart. Yeah. The way that we kind of did that was, let's see, we were working on fatalities for MK1, and we kind of had to come up with a way to finish off the character at the end. I know Ed Boon didn't want it to just be, the fight just end. So there had to be like some sort of cool way to finish the guy off. So, I was a big fan of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. And, we couldn't think of too much. And then I thought, well, you know what? There's this scene where this guy's gets his heart ripped out, and before he gets lowered into the fire, there's some sort of ritual or something in Temple of Doom. And I told John, because we were going back and forth about this, and I said, you know what? Why don't I just reach in and just grab this guy's heart and just hold it up like that, So that's what I did, and that's how we got the heart ripped. So that's the pretty much iconic move of Kano.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I kind of want to see it demonstrated one more time. What do you guys think? Can we do that one more time?
Yeah.
Fatality. Thank you. That's awesome. So it's based off the Temple of Doom? As an Indiana Jones fan, does that heart belong in a museum now?
Belongs in a museum. Here's the thing, you gotta understand too, is like when we did the first game, there were a lot of influences. John Tobias and I grew up since we were kids, and a lot of us who worked on the game, our influences were Big Trouble in Little China, John Carpenter's film, Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom, Star Wars, Bruce Lee movies, and we just had a lot of influences of things that we loved, from the 80s and 70s, and we kind of brought those things, those little things, like Raiden was really like from Big Trouble in Little China. I think his name is James Pax, was the one that played him, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, just, you draw from here, you draw from there, and your influences, and kind of put a little twist on them, and so forth. Which brings me to something I can tell you a little story. Another fatality, well, it wasn't a fatality, it was just a move. But I was there the day that Daniel Pacino was filming for Scorpion. So, and I had asked John Tobias, I said, John, are there going to be any weapons in this game? Because I wanted there to be some sort of weapons in this. And I know Ed Boon wanted some sort of lasso to be wrapped around someone and you pull that person back. But I think Danny, he didn't want it to be like Wonder Woman, where you're pulling this lasso thing. So that day, Daniel had a dagger in his bag, in his martial arts bag, and has a rope on it. So I said to Daniel, I said, you know what, that dagger that's in there, I said, give me that for a second. I said, because we were going around and around with ideas, and I told him, I said, just give me that dagger. I said, why don't we just take that thing and just throw it into the guy, and it sticks in his chest, and then I did this hand motion, like a hand over hand pull, just like that, and I said, then you just tell him to just get over here. And then I did an uppercut. And everyone in the room's like, yeah, that was cool. And then like a few days later, I think Dan Forden, the guy who does the sound and who also says, Toasty, he recorded Ed Boon's voice to say, get over here. So I basically coined the phrase, get over here, and it was recorded by Ed Boon. So I always say it's a collaboration with everyone here. We all have ideas when we're filming, and that's the really cool part of being, in front of the camera when you're doing this stuff. We didn't really have like a script that's, saying like, all right, Kerri, you're going to do this, and John, you're going to do this, Lia, you're going to do this. We each were able to say, well, how about this or how about that? So it was a really good collaboration, and I think that's really why the game was a success, and also because of you fans too. So we thank you.
Guys, we have time for one more question, so it's going to be a speed round. And I'm kind of putting you on the spot a little bit. In talking about Mortal Kombat, what is one word that comes to mind when I say Mortal Kombat? Starting with Kerri.
Well, it's been 25 years, guys. There's been so much that's happened in 25 years. And for me, Mortal Kombat means how I started. I mean, I had a little bit more background before Mortal Kombat, but Mortal Kombat is when it got really big for me. And going on tour and having 20 black belts as my big brothers, it was great because I didn't know Jack. And I learned a lot while I was on tour. You learn really quick when you got 20 black belts beating the shit out of you every day. So, sorry kids. Sony doesn't do that. But the first word that comes to my mind is legacy, because it's been so long and it's still going strong. And I love it.
Love it.
And I'm really, really grateful for all you guys. Thank you so much.
Give it up, everybody. John, when you think of Mortal Kombat, what is one word that comes to mind?
I think of awesome. I just think the whole creation of it, and Kerri's word legacy I think is perfect as well. So I'll just add awesome legacy to that, because I think I mentioned earlier how many people have told me at all these conventions, through the internet and everything else, these remarkable stories of how the game has affected their lives. And a lot of times before I even heard these stories, I just thought it's a game. It's a fun game. I really enjoyed it. I'm part of it. But as I started hearing all the stories that came out of this, it became an emotional tie to the game. So all these years later, here we are, and we're still celebrating Mortal Kombat. We got the 30-year anniversary coming up, which is incredible. Now, if you look at what has been the evolution of Mortal Kombat, you have the movies, you have all these different dolls they're making now, and it's remarkable that it went from this idea of a couple guys in Chicago getting together and making this game, and how many lives it's affected over the years, and it's still affecting. It's morphed into other games. Mortal Kombat has been the catalyst for so many other games, and it's just an incredible, awesome legacy.
Awesome. Can't argue with that. Lia, I see everything. You're competing. You're out kicking butt every day. What is one word that comes to mind when you hear Mortal Kombat? Two words.
Ultimate fatality.
Well, that's all, folks. Ultimate fatality.
Well, John, first Kerri took my first word, then John took my second word. So the pressure's on, and it is, it's an ultimate experience to have been a part of something that I had no idea. And just having this opportunity to have the interactions with the fans really has kept me connected to the game. I learn, more about the culture and understand more about the impact that this game has had on people. And I too, recently, especially after kind of resurfacing, meeting people that, because of the game, have gotten involved in martial arts themselves, have opened up martial arts schools. Just recently, I went and trained with a teacher who owns a self-defense school, who started martial arts because he played Sindel and decided that he wanted to start martial arts, and then he became my teacher. I'm getting chills now talking about that. And fatality has a ring about it, but the ultimate aspect is that it's going to be a never-ending experience that will last forever. So
Yeah, maybe your word is culture.
culture, yeah, culture. I think we should just build. It's like build a sentence.
Richard, can you take us home?
Thank
What is
you.
one word that comes to mind?
The word I always come up with is historic, because that's pretty much what it was and still is. Mortal Kombat changed the face of gaming, especially with like the mature audience's ratings. There was never a rating system until Mortal Kombat came out, but that's pretty much what changed it all. And this game has made history, and it's still making history. It's so crazy that, I don't know how many people know this, but before Mortal Kombat, I was in a movie called The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Secret of the Ooze. It was the second Turtles film with Vanilla Ice. And Daniel Pacina and I, who plays Johnny Cage and some of the ninjas, he and I were foot soldiers. Ho-Sung Pak, who plays Liu Kang, he was Raphael. And we were actually filming this right down the road in Wilmington, North Carolina. Love that town. I was there when I was 22 years old, and now I'm 52. So next year is the 30th anniversary of Mortal Kombat, so we do hope that you celebrate with us the 30th anniversary of MK1. But when we came home from North Carolina, actually, I went down there for the audition, and I called my mom and I told her, I'm not coming home for 3 months, so filmed this Turtles film, and it was one of the best experiences of my life, being young and working on a major motion picture. When I got home, it was right before Christmas, my phone rang, and it was John Tobias, and he said, I'm working at Midway Games, and I said, yeah, I heard. We grew up together. And he's like, I'm working on this fighting game. You know what a fighting game is? And I said, not too much. He's like, well, there's another game that's out there called Street Fighter. And so it's going to be something like that, but it's more cartoon-oriented. And he says, but I have an idea. And I know you guys are back from doing the Turtles film. Do you think you can get the guys, meaning like Danny and Ho-Sung and Carlos, Daniel's brother who plays Raiden, and I want you guys to come into the studio. I want to try something. So that next day, we went in there, and that was the beginning of history being made. So that's kind of why I would say historic. And you can read about the rest of it in my book that I write. So yeah, that's pretty much history was created then, and I'll never forget that.
Can we give these lovely people a round of applause, please? Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. That is Richard DiVizio, Lia Montelongo, John Turk, and Kerri Reeves, Mortal Kombat. They are here. They're in the back doing autographs and photo ops. You can go and see them right in the back over there. Guys, thank you so much. Have a great con.